All right, 11 New York Giants. Brandon?
So this one, I think, the Giants have a lot of holes to fill, and I think it's going to be another defensive player here. I think it's going to be one of the three best available pass rushers, whether that's Greg Rousseau, Jalen Phillips, or Kwity Paye from Michigan. I think it's going to end up being Greg Rousseau, the edge rusher from Miami. I think he feels the need of being able to get after the quarterback for them. Like I said, they have a lot of needs, but I think he's probably, with Parsons gone, Pat Surtain gone, I think it's one of those three, and I think probably Rousseau is the next best defensive player in the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, this year's not full of like top end defensive prospects. They're good. I mean, no disrespect to them, but it seems like in years past we've obviously had Chase Young, Nick Bosa, both the Bosa brothers, or some outstanding defensive player that could challenge these three quarterbacks that we have going top three.
Rousseau I think he only played 13 games last year when we're looking at here in the stat sheet, and he had 19 and a half tackles for loss and 15 and a half sacks. I mean, that's disruptive.
Yeah.
That's the guy that, he can bolster that defense for sure.
Definitely. Josiah, with the number 12 overall pick, the Eagles take?
I think I have Philly taking Rashawn Slater.
Dang it.
I think they're sold with Jalen being the starting quarterback for the next year at least. And they definitely need a tackle. They need to bolster up that offensive line in general.
Yeah, that offensive line just seems to get hurt. Really, the entire Eagles.
It's injury prone.
Is hurt all the time. So I think you really can't go wrong with any pick at the Eagles. I think you're right with Jalen Hurts being at least their quarterback for 1 year to see what they got. But
and at 12, I feel like that's really good value. I mean, I think Slater's got to be the next best offensive line player outside of Sewell, right? Do we all agree on that?
Yeah. All right. Brandon, the Chargers. Who do we got at 13?
13 for the Chargers. See, I was going to go with a Rashawn Slater. Then thanks, Josiah.
Yeah, I think Rashawn Slater would have gone really in any of the next picks, and he just kind of made us change our plans here.
You look at the Chargers, they're another team I think has a whole lot of needs. Obviously, they don't do quarterback. Pretty loaded there. This is a pick where I think in real life, if it plays out again, I think the Chargers probably might trade out because in our mock draft, we still have two pretty good quarterbacks on the board, and you never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be easier for like a Bears or a football team to get up to 13 rather than 4.
Definitely have that, that ability. With the Chargers here, I don't really know a whole lot of where to go here. I think they might end up taking, the best available defensive player again, and I'll probably take Phillips from Miami. Pair him with Joey Bosa over there. Get after the pass rushers.
Yeah,
the quarterbacks.
I think that's probably the best pick, and with how our draft board pick is lining up, probably where realistically they may even go. Melvin Ingram. I don't remember if he ever signed his extension last year, but I know that was an issue last year, and bringing someone in that could replace Melvin Ingram in the near future is probably
gives them some flexibility and things like that. Yeah,
definitely. All right, so my Minnesota Vikings are I think they're definitely going to take a defensive player, even though we need an offensive lineman because our line is just complete butt. I think we end up taking Kwity Paye out of Michigan.
I was going to say the same.
We have a great pass rush right now with Danielle Hunter and Michael Pierce, and then we added Dalvin Tomlinson, so we're going to be able to stop the run down the middle with both those big boys right in the center. But we're going to need someone to pair with Danielle Hunter on the other side of the ball. So Kwity Paye is my pick here. All right, Jerry, the Patriots, who's built this year.
With how our draft board's going, since there's no trades, I think the Patriots would be stupid to just pass up on Lance right here with Cam being old and not as good as he used to be. They just have to try to go with Lance and make him good.
I disagree. I disagree.
Uh,
Mac Jones is still on the board. Like, with the way our board is played out, I don't see them passing Mac Jones.
It's gonna be Lance or Mac Jones, and I probably side with I think it's gonna end up being if it shakes out like this, I feel like it'd be Mac Jones too. I feel like he's more of the Patriot, the way the system.
It's
You
the
obviously
way
got Cam Newton.
goes, and Mac
Cam
Jones.
Newton's not the normal system. They went with
I know.
Cam
I was
and
gonna say
traded
he's
him.
not their normal way, but it's not working out.
He was hurt.
not working
Mac
out 'cause
Jones is
Cam
more
can't throw.
established than because the Patriots just dumped off a whole lot of money in free agency. They're not looking for a project quarterback, and Mac Jones is more established. So if he's still available, I do see the Patriots taking him.
I think they're both project quarterbacks at this point, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and
side
they
with
have
Jerry
to
on
play
this one.
Cam with re-signing him. He had a pretty good contract. They had to play him this year at least.
And if someone's going to evolve under Cam Newton, it's going to be Trey Lance. Similar play styles. Trey Lance just probably has a better arm than Cam at this point because Cam doesn't seem to figure out how to throw the ball in the NFL since his MVP year.
I think we all agree quarterback there, though, especially with the way it shakes out here.
Oh, yeah. So it's 16. The Cardinals are taking.
Cardinals are taking Caleb Farley.
No, he's falling out of the first. Injury concerns for him are worse than Waddle right now.
Over Horn?
Is Horn not?
Horn's
still on the board.
Horn is still on the board here.
Oh, I thought Horn was taken. Yeah, I got JC Horn. I thought Horn was off the board.
JC Horn going to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I have JC Horn.
Yeah, that makes complete sense, and that's a steal.
It makes sense, but I kind of saw the Cardinals going on offensive line too. They've got Kyler Murray, and he saved their offensive line a lot of times just with his athleticism and his way to avoid sacks and get out of bad situations. But, like a Vera Tucker out of USC or something like that is why I see them going there. But I do like the Horn pick.
Yeah, and
I did not know Horn was on the board.
They just lost Patrick Peterson. And, I mean, they have Byron Murphy, who's a good young talent. So they definitely need another corner over there to make sure that Buda's not having to cover, 3/4 of the field. But, yeah, no, JC's definitely a steal, and I think that's a good idea there. So with 17, the Raiders, these guys need a lot of shit too. Their wide receivers aren't great. They pretty much scrapped their entire offensive line for some reason. So I'm going to go with the big boys in the middle. I'm going to go with Christian Darrisaw. He's going to be a tackle. He's a tackle right now. I'm sure they're going to keep him at tackle in the NFL unless they somehow pick up someone that could replace him and move him to guard. But I think Christian Darrisaw is the only thing, or not just any offensive lineman, but I think Christian Darrisaw is the best available at this point. Yeah. All right, Brandon. The Dolphins' second pick in the first round.
Pick at 18 for the Dolphins. This is a fun one. I see it going. This is a spot where I can see Najee Harris going off the board. Miami needs a running back, and I think we like him a lot. They've had multiple draft meetings with him, talked to him a whole lot. I just don't see it happening at 18. I think they like, that kid out of North Carolina, Williams, a lot as well too, and I think he's a second round grade you can get. So I think Miami takes the best available player here. In my opinion, who's still left on the board, a guy who can kind of do it all on defense. Pass rush, drop back and coverage, linebacker. I think they take Zaven Collins out of Tulsa.
Local boy.
Ouch.
I think Collins to Miami makes a lot of sense just because he, like I said, he can do a lot of different things on the defense.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Isaiah Simmons of this year's draft, someone that that can cover the whole field if need be.
I think he's fantastic. I think that would be a great value at 18.
Definitely.
Dang it.
All right. Moving on to 19, Jerry. Who does a football team take in the 2021 draft?
Football team has a solid defense, great D-line. I don't really know much about their corners, but there's not much great corner talent right now with Caleb Farley being questionable with a bunch of injuries. I think they just have to upgrade their line and go best available with Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC.
Protect, fix, magic.
Yeah. I mean, they already have offensive talent over there with Terry, and they just signed Curtis and Antonio Gibson, so they just have to protect Fitz.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think the football team isn't too concerned about a quarterback. I mean, Heineke almost beat the Buccaneers last year.
Yeah, he's not bad, but I mean, this is a spot if it shakes out exactly how we still have Mac Jones on the board here, and we're at pick 20 now. I thought Jerry might have went Mac Jones to the football team there, just because obviously Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the future. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a great player. I love him, but he's like 40 years old.
Hey, maybe
I can see Mac making sense there, but I do like the Vera Tucker pick.
Definitely. And maybe they're looking out to next year. Maybe they're expecting Spencer Rattler to come out of Oklahoma and and just trading up to wherever they need to get Spencer to the football team.
That, or maybe they like a Kyle Trask or something, who a lot of people had him as a first round pick, and he kind of fallen off a little bit, but in the third or fourth, that could be a good value pick for them there as well.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL draft is 7 rounds long, so you don't have to take your quarterback of the future in the first round if you feel you can take him in the third or fourth round. All right. So 20, Josiah, who do the Bears take in this year's draft?
Somehow Mac Jones is still on the board, so even though I do see the Bears trading up in the draft, with our no trade, Mac Jones has fallen, so I do see Mac Jones going 20 Chicago.
That makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, for sure. They're quarterback desperate. They were pretty much in every quarterback trade rumor this year. So if they don't take a quarterback in the first round, it would be very surprising. All right. So Indianapolis, the Colts are in need of an offensive lineman. I think overall, really, as long as they can protect the quarterback, they're fine. They have one of the best lines. They had one of the best lines last year, but Costanzo retired. So with that, I'm going to take Creed Humphrey with the 21 overall pick.
Oh, I love it.
Even though they need a tackle, I think they're going to be able to move someone and just put Creed in at his natural center position or move him over to guard, so that they can keep their high graded offensive line.
I think Creed's our only chance of having a first round pick, and I'd love to see it happen. Especially the Colts would be a good fit.